So here we go. In three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to episode 247 of the WrestleCast. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined tonight by my utility player, none other than Mo underscore Reese. What's going on, Mo?
What's going on? Just like the New Day on SmackDown, I'm filling in.
Yeah, man, had to make a call to the bullpen tonight. Thankfully, you're around. You can come do your Big E dance on the table
I
before you
don't know
sit
about that. I save all the dancing for those guys. I just look from afar.
It's always a good time when we have you on the show, Mo, so I don't think tonight will be any different. The WrestleCast is being brought to you by CSPN. You can find the CSPN on the web at cspn.us. You can subscribe to the WrestleCast through iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and also YouTube. So we're going to start the show this week with a little news. We haven't done that in a few weeks. AEW and TNT, they announced the start date for the 2-hour weekly television show will be Wednesday night, October the 2nd. The name that was copyrighted and applied for the trademark was Wednesday Night Dynamite, but the actual title of the program was not released when they announced the date of the starting of the show. So tentatively, if you check out the WrestleCast Twitter page, pinned to the top of the page, we have a poll running for the live tweet hashtag of this eventual show. And the hashtag is based off the show being called Wednesday Night Dynamite. So we have Dynamite Cast or Black Dynamite Cast as your two options to vote. So please have a week to vote on the poll, and whichever one is the winner based on that they keep the name Wednesday Night Dynamite will be the hashtag that we use for our live tweets of AEW's TV show. Now, Mo Reese, have you watched any of the Being the Elite or the Road to All Out? Have you checked those out?
Of course, some of them. I haven't watched any of them like the recent episodes, but I saw you talking about Hangman Page.
Yes. They have currently 2 episodes up on YouTube, The Road to All Out. And the first one is basically Hangman Page doing a interview, a vignette at his house, and he's still all scarred up from Chris Jericho attacking him, and he's talking about how he doesn't want the scars to heal, he doesn't want his face to heal up because it's just a reminder of what he's fighting for, his ultimate journey and quest. So he says like every morning he rips the stitch out just so it'll bleed again. And so yeah, like they're showing him in his home, like in his sink, and he's like, blood dripping in the sink and stuff. And he's looking at the mirror. And he's just walking like on this property or whatever, talking, cutting a promo. It was really good. Then they have this sit down interview with Shawn Spears and Jim Ross. And Jim Ross is trying to get the motivations behind why he came in and hit Cody in the head with the chair. And, Shawn Spears talks about how, Cody is a leech. He's like, he used up Damian Sandow. He used up Ted DiBiase Jr. He used up Charlie Haas. He's like, that's all he does. And he was like, I could count on my hand, my best friends in this business. I used to count Cody as one. But, then he goes and tells the reason why. Then all of a sudden, like, Tully Blanchard walks in and he's like, Jim, he says something to like Shawn Spears in his ear, and he's like, Jim, this interview's over. And it's like, all right. So then the next episode starts with Tully Blanchard sitting down and they're interviewing him, and he's talking about why he's like now Shawn Spears' manager.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he plays on the history of, I know, the Rose family, probably more than anybody, better than anyone, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just really good stuff, man. So my point is, if they're bringing that type of character development and that type of style, the way that they shoot this to their TV, they're going to have the best fucking characters in wrestling, dude.
That's one thing that I've noticed that they've been doing, but in leading up to their TNT show is that they've been using social media and YouTube to put over their wrestlers and everything, which is why you know I'm such a fan of some of their talent, like is it MJP
MJF.
MJF, yeah, MJF. Um, he like how they putting him over. It's like just how certain events they have and how they just putting the talent over. So it's just like they just doing this slow build using social media and just and influencing it that way. So they could pretty have a good chance, to develop some their characters, to the way to really getting them over. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out on TNT.
Yeah, yeah. Now being the elite, they have like some humor in that, and I don't think a lot of that will translate over to TNT for a weekly show. But the stuff that they're doing with the road to Double or Nothing or the road to All Out, where it's like more serious, and the guys are talking about their angles and talking about their motivations and things like that. Oh yeah, man, that definitely will play very well.
Mhm.
We also have some very unfortunate news as our man Jimmy Uso made the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena, out to be a prophet as he was arrested early Thursday morning, I guess, for another DUI. So situation is getting pretty serious. It's rumored that the WWE is actually going to step in and do something this time instead of just say, "Oh, those are his own personal issues, and he needs to take care of those outside of our jurisdiction." They may actually try to step in and take him off of TV and maybe try to send him somewhere and let him get some help. So hopefully Jimmy Uso can get his thing straightened out, man, because drunk driving is definitely not cool. And we got too many things in 2019 to make that something that he doesn't necessarily have to do.
I'm sure when Cena saw that alert, he probably was like, "We was just cutting the promo. I wasn't trying to be, out here prophesizing and everything."
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, man. So like I said, hopefully he can do what he needs to do and get things under control. And if he has to, change his lifestyle up a little bit to make sure that this doesn't happen again, then he needs to go ahead and commit to that. And
But what the last time he got arrested was when he was trying to fight the cop, correct?
no, I think that was Jay. Jimmy's gotten 2 DUIs this year, I think, or within the last 2 years. And Jay was the one who was trying to fight the cop.
I know Naomi was with him was with. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm confused. Cause I know Naomi was with him when he got arrested or something like that. But
Right.
all right, okay,
Yeah. And apparently, like, she had been drinking too. So, what I'm saying? It was like a real bad situation on that one.
that's what we call ride shares. We have Lyft, we have Uber, we have
Right.
taxi cabs. You ain't got to get behind the wheel, man, because something terrible could have happened, and then, your whole life could change in an instant.
Yeah. Same thing with Jeff Hardy. He caught one a couple of weeks ago too.
That's another one. I know they probably gonna put him, like you said, it's the WWE going to step in and say, hey, we gonna have to go to council or something like that because we can't be having this. We trying to, take out. We about to make a move in the fall to back to network television. We can't have two of our biggest stars out here, drink being arrested for being under the influence. Yeah,
Right.
calm that down.
Right. Right. So we'll transition into Monday Night Raw. John Cena, he's our host. He comes out of this is the Raw family reunion episode of Monday Night Raw. So this was a ratings grab. The result was they did 3 million fans, which is about 500,000 more fans than they normally do on a week. They usually do about 2.5, 2.4 million. But it was a far cry from the Raw 25 that did 4.5 million. like over a year ago. Cena comes out. He jokes about the crowd liking them tonight because he's been away. He hypes the Raw reunion and the guests that we'll see tonight. He says he couldn't miss this because the WWE is his home, always has been, always will be. He may not be around as much anymore, but the fans are his family, and he's excited to be here. The Usos arrive. They want Cena to drop some rhymes. Cena tries to refuse, and the Usos say the fans want to see the doctor of Thugonomics, not the guy that left them for the movie biz. So Cena gets back in. And like we said, he was being a prophet because Cena busts on them for being arrested and looking like their mugshots. And the Usos like it. It was like, that was a good one. Cena tries to bounce, and that's when Rikishi comes out. So Rikishi refuses Cena to leave. He says, you can't be trying to leave the ring all fast and furious without busting a move. So right when they were about to break it down, the Revival interrupt. And they're out here with Devon Dudley. They show Jimmy Hart and that racist backstage hyping all the guests. And the racist says he wants to fight.
Oh, God.
The Usos versus the Revival. We got bodies flying to the floor. And that's when Devon and Rikishi come face to face on the floor. They do a little jaw jacking. That's when Scott Dawson, he joins in from the ring, bad mouthing Rikishi. He turns around. Jay hits Dawson with the super kick. Then he hits Dash with the super kick. The Usos hit the big Oos, and the Usos get the win. How do you feel about?
I have a question real quick.
Uh-huh.
Was Cena only there for booked for a half hour or 15 minutes? Because by the time we came back from that commercial break, he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, this was the theme of the night for the Raw Legends. They were just passing them through. It was like, okay, we got 30 people we got to get on camera tonight. All right, here we go. Yeah, they were just sending them down the assembly line.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, Cena's like, I'm coming out first, and I can go back to the set.
Right, exactly.
But I enjoyed this match. It was, good seeing Rikishi out there. A lot of people in the thread were saying that, it was kind of odd not seeing Scotty 2 Hotty out there, as opposed to also not seeing Bubba Ray out there with Devon. But we got some nostalgia for that night and everything. It was pretty good for what it was.
Right. Now, the link to Rikishi and the Usos is natural, of course. I just don't understand Devon and the Revival. I guess because, the Revival are trying to be multiple time tag team champions. And the Dudley Boys were won the tag team titles more than anybody as far as in all forms of wrestling.
From what I heard, I think they were trying to put the Usos over with that because the Usos has I think 6 championship reigns.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It was kind of pushing. I think that the announcers was pushing that towards that because the Dudley Boys had a lot of championship reigns, so they were trying to push that over there. But it could be anything from that. We just have to see how things play out in a foreseeing future.
Right. Alicia Fox is back. I guess she's a legend as she talks with Dana Brooke and Caitlyn. And then Tori Wilson arrives. Santino was also here. He breaks out the Cobra and everybody's having a good time. That's when Drew McIntyre walks up, looks at everybody with disgust. And he just laughs at them and is like, legends.
That's crazy that no one recognized Caitlyn.
Right. Even I was like, who the hell is that? And I just saw Caitlyn.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's Caitlyn. Y'all don't know Caitlyn? I'm like, come on, that's Caitlyn. I mean, I understand she might have lost some weight, cut her hair and everything, but I'm like, that was her.
Yeah, I was like, that's Alicia Fox. That's Tori Wilson. There's Dana Brooke. Ooh, there's Santino. But who is that person right there?
I'm like, that's Caitlyn, y'all. I'm like, come on. And it was good, good seeing her. Mostly, backstage. I was surprised Santino was there, because they said, I know I saw a story that he came out of retirement, quote unquote, um, for like independent organizations. But it was good to see him there. He had a lot of great moments on Raw. Humorous things like that.
Charlie's backstage. She's talking with R-Truth and Carmella. R-Truth talks about defending the title at Comic-Con against Hurricane Helms and Drake Maverick. Drake's wife arrives and says that R-Truth has ruined her marriage and Drake's life. That distraction allows Drake to roll up R-Truth to win the title. So now they got Renee Michelle fully involved in Drake Maverick's shenanigans.
You know what? That's a Creepcast moment, and I'm fully here for that distraction finish.
Yeah, Renee Michelle was she was looking real strong this week.
I said, glad that they find a way to have her in the storyline, because whew, man.
So after the 24/7 title has been changed hands, in the aftermath, the Godfather arrives, and him and Charlie, they get their dance on. I thought he was
Charlie looked a little bit too happy to dance with Godfather, so I was like, she was kind of happy we came rolling out there, but he couldn't really get into the whole full character of why he was back in the day and everything. But it was good to see him on screen and everything.
Charlie knew what was up.
And she knew what was up.
Got to go roll a fatty with the Pimp Daddy. At first, I was like, yeah, go put Charlie on the train. She about to come out. We have Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. And Drew's trying to get some get back for Cedric embarrassing them last week. Drew attacks Alexander on the floor but gets posted, and Alexander follows with a PK and then a moonsault. Drew tosses Cedric into the apron and pummels him with strikes. Drew then slams Cedric into the barricade, and he hits the inverted Alabama slam onto the apron, and Cedric can't continue.
I knew that was coming. He got the win over him last week, so we knew that it was going to be shenanigans this week. So the heels have to get that comeuppance once in a while.
Is this about to be a SummerSlam match for Drew McIntyre?
You know what? Well, let's see.
He's not going to wrestle Roman again because they already had like two matches, two big pay-per-view matches.
But if that's okay, who's Roman going to wrestle then?
They got 2 weeks to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But if it's this a build up between Cedric and Drew, I'm here for it, because Cedric's not really doing anything. He was chasing around the 24/7 title these past couple of weeks, and I'm like, you can't waste a talent like that, man.
I was hoping, coming off of Extreme Rules, it was going to build to Drew and the Undertaker.
That's what I thought too, but they said I don't think he's like booked for SummerSlam. That's what the whole thing was like. He was Undertaker had personally selected Drew as his opponent. I was like, okay, you might get a little something, but I guess not.
But I guess once Paul and them became
right,
it was announced that everything kind of just shifted, because that was like right before, and they said after Extreme Rules they were going to take over, and so all that stuff that was kind of before Extreme Rules, I was like, it don't even exist no more.
He was like, "Hey, remember them storylines we had? We can throw them out. We got new material coming in now."
Right. So Drake is running away through the locker rooms in the back of the arena, of course, and that's when he runs into the Boogeyman. So of course he just fucking like falls down. Pat Patterson arrives. He puts the boots to Drake, puts his foot on him, pins him, and he wins the title. So if you're keeping up, it went from R-Truth to Drake Maverick, now to Pat Patterson.
That's a good shit. That's a legend. That's a legend. A WWE legend right there. He has a 24/7 title.
The Viking Raiders versus Hawkins and Ryder. Squash match supreme. Thor's hammer finishes Hawkins and Ryder, and the Viking Raiders get the win.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing really too special. I'm wondering if they're just building them up for, I guess, to be a strong heel team, and then if they get the tag teams, the Raw tag team titles, then you know they could be a dominant team.
They're doing the same deal they did with them with the Bludgeon Brothers. It's the same thing.
Mm.
If you remember that,
I
it's
remember
the
that.
exact same formula.
I remember that.
The Canellises, they meet with Eve Torres and Eric Bischoff as Maria arrives and she continues to bury Mike. Ron Simmons appears. He grabs Jimmy Hart's megaphone and he replies, "Damn." Even though with Ron Simmons' deep ass voice, it was kind of counterproductive for him to use a megaphone too.
Right. Like, sir, what are you doing?
Right. But yeah, I get what they were going for.
Yeah. But Ron Simmons giving us, years and years of just dams, just so classic. And that was even before him and Bradshaw broke up as APA, because he was always saying damn, playing poker, but then they just stopped, and he just, wherever just something just crazy or weird just happened, he would just hit you with a damn. One of the best moments.
All right, let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you good now. I don't know what happened, man. It just started going.
It just like stopped, and then
I don't know. Yeah, it said on my side that the connection was lost, but my internet this time is actually acting really good. So I don't know.
yeah, I mean, my stuff is still good too. So
It might have been the Hangouts thing.
yeah.
All right.
Just finish up with Ron Simmons. But I said Ron Simmons doing the dance.
Hold on. And go.
Oh, we went live because I had live on my thing the whole time.
Oh no, I just paused it for
Okay.
the I recorded.
just saying Ron Simmons providing us years worth of dams, just great moments. Great Raw moments.
The club is backstage to put themselves over. They're going by the OC now, as AJ Styles promises to send Seth Rollins a message tonight. I don't know about this OC thing. I was thinking somebody from the MTV show was going to come out.
No, somebody was. I think it was. Yeah, on the Fox show.
That's Fox. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was Fox.
One of them.
Fox. Yeah, they was talking about that, and I was like, OC. I was like, okay, I get what you're saying. I was like, but
we go backstage again, and we see Gerald Briscoe has just beaten Pat Patterson for the 24/7 championship. And it's funny because Patterson called Briscoe a stooge after he was walking away with the belt. So as Jerry Briscoe is walking out of the locker room, Kelly arrives. She appears to go up to hug him, and then she gives him a low blow. And now Kelly gets the pin, and she is your new 24/7 champion.
Jeez.
I was disappointed she didn't do the dance though, but I later on I understood why she didn't.
Why didn't she?
We haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just like, what? I just heard the music. I was like, oh gosh. It took me back to a Raw taped in Baltimore where she won the Divas Championship.
You ain't got no love for Kelly Kelly?
When she was with Extreme Expose, yes.
The champion that ECW made?
That's what I say. Extreme Expose when her Brooke and Layla, yes. She was great then, but then after a while, I was just like, okay, next. She wasn't no Trish Stratus or Stacy Keibler.
Samoa Joe. He takes the mic and introduces himself, and he's here to point out an atrocity. He says we shouldn't be celebrating plays like the Raw reunion. He says shows like this is where the fans' addiction to nostalgia is embraced. You could have seen him doing what he does best, but instead, we got the Usos out here with their daddy, shaking their ass and spitting rounds with John Cena. So the other Samoan named Joe on the roster, he don't take too kindly to this. Roman comes out. He heads straight to the ring with an Undertaker entrance, though. He took his time getting down there. Reigns tells Joe that if he has something to say about his family, say it to his face. Joe said, hey, I ain't got something to say about your family. I done said something about your family.
Right.
He said, we're from the same island, so you know what happens next. And they have a brawl. Joe rakes the eyes. He throws Roman into the post. He throws Roman into the barricade. Throws him to the barricade again. Joe follows with strikes. He rolls Roman back in the ring. He follows with more strikes. Joe then hits a headbutt. Roman goes back to the floor. He tosses Roman back in. And then when he's getting in the ring, Roman hits Joe with the Superman punch to the floor. Joe dares Roman to come back down to the floor and then says, you know what? I'm out of here. I ain't messing with you no more tonight, Roman. Especially not for these people. Roman wants a match. Joe's like, nah, I'm good. But then Reigns calls him a coward. And Joe doubles back and says, yeah, okay, I'll give you a match. So what'd you feel about, I know you felt very strongly about the Samoa Joe promo about, you know, the nostalgia and Cena and all that.
That was a real good promo. I was like, this was great. And then having Roman come out, I was like, we already knew where we was going with that. But yeah, I was definitely feeling that. Definitely feeling that promo. It was just hoping that I was just hoping that it had been like, okay, let's let Joe get one up over Roman here, but of course not. We're not.
Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Joe counters a Superman punch. He hits the running kick in the senton for 2. Gokina clutch follows, but Roman dumps Samoa Joe, and then he hits the spear, and Roman Reigns gets the win. They're gonna end up turning Samoa Joe into Dolph Ziggler.
I hope not.
But what will save Samoa Joe in the long run is that he can talk much better than Dolph Ziggler. His promos are much more believable, and you feel and you believe what he says. But what I mean by they're going to turn him into Dolph Ziggler is they're fucking beating him in the dust. And every time you think that, oh, he's in a good position where he deserves to win, he doesn't. So eventually, if they keep going down this path, when they do try to put him in a situation where they want us to look at him seriously, we're going to be like, oh, fuck, he's going to lose. He loses every time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's one of the teams that has like a good regular season every year, but then they don't do shit in the playoffs. That's Samoa Joe. The way he's being booked, you know. It's time for Miz TV. Seth Rollins is the guest. Miz hypes him up as Brock's SummerSlam opponent, and we get footage of Brock cashing in to regain the championship. Rollins says he knows it's Brock Lesnar. He starts making fun of the way Paul Heyman does his name. Then he makes fun of how Brock looks. He puts over Brock's skills, but he doesn't want to be Brock. Heyman arrives and says that he's a dose of reality for Rollins. Brock doesn't want to be like Rollins and tells Rollins not to bitch about the cash in. Rollins says it took Brock 4 years to return the favor, and Heyman then enters the arena. Rollins cuts him off and says Heyman can talk the talk, but he may have to walk the walk. Rollins threatens to stomp his head in, and Heyman runs away. For 20 years, Heyman has been putting Brock over, but Rollins thinks he's just a man, and any man can lose. At SummerSlam, Brock will lose. But as far as tonight, he doesn't take weeks off like Brock, and he's going to face AJ Styles.
Oh boy.
Do you like Seth Rollins' babyface promo?
Oh boy. I don't know. That's one thing that's been really like Seth has really been giving it a go, but his babyface run is just not. I don't know why it's not clicking. I mean, I want him to be successful in it, but it's just not giving me that click that you get for babyface run.
It's hard to click when the guy that you're going to wrestle doesn't really show up until it's time to wrestle.
Right.
I mean, no matter how good Paul Heyman is, it's hard to just build a feud up with just Paul. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Sami Zayn comes down. He interrupts Charlie, who's trying to interview the legends. He mocks the whole reunion, just like Samoa Joe did. He wants him to go home as Rey comes in, Rey Mysterio, that is. He starts to defend the legends, and then Kurt Angle arrives, and he proposes that they settle things in the ring, just like they did when he was the Raw general manager. This made Sami Zayn look super weak in his delivery compared to what Samoa Joe did. And I don't know why they had him do a similar thing like 15 minutes apart.
Right. Real wasn't smart at all. But Sami Zayn was doing that like when he came back, and he was doing a good job of it. And that was just like they took it away from him, and now he's just.
It's something he has a weird relationship with
who?
And he got hurt, and then they had him primed to be in a really top spot when he came back, but circumstances kind of changed all that. But he still got rebounded, even though they kind of spun their wheels with him for a couple of weeks. They kind of didn't know what they were going to do. They rebounded him, and now he's like, you know what I'm saying? He's probably as hot as he's ever been at the current state. But Sami Zayn seems like he can't catch that rub off of him. You know what I'm saying? Like they had a thing for Sami. It was going good. But then, like you said, they just kind of been.
This hasn't been that for him. Hasn't like this. The train hasn't got back on the tracks for that.
Melina's like, oh man, she's so. Better come after her.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, it just like kept breaking out. It was like we was talking, the next thing you know, it stopped, and then it would cut in about the whole Melina with that whole segment back there and everything.
don't worry, I'm not gonna use that version of the internet. Just as long as I can hear you good, I'm doing it on my voice recorder, so it won't
Okay.
have any of the breaks in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So that was really good. Candice Michelle beating Kelly Kelly. I really like that. You know, Naomi and Melina are like Naomi looks up to Melina super hard. So that was a fangirl moment for her. So I thought this was a really cool segment with all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these women.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. If it kind of did, as a matter of fact, though, was like it's like as soon as she showed up, that they was just talking, and just all of a sudden they just pulled him into the conversation. I was like, don't make it so obvious. Come on now.
Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn bails before he can get hit with the 619. Sami teases leaving, so he's walking up the ramp. That's when RVD arrives to stop him. Sergeant Slaughter follows RVD along with Hurricane Helms and Kurt Angle. They chase Zayn back into the ring. Rey hits a Hurricane Rana, the 619, and then he hits a top rope frog splash, and Rey Mysterio gets the win.
That was hilarious. We see Raw RVD. We're like, hold up. He's Impact. What is he doing?
Impact doesn't care.
Yeah, apparently they gave him permission. They was like, hey, he got permission in writing to go.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They already stated out that you know what I'm saying, when it comes to other
other promotions.
Mo.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I know, man. My thing is acting up. I'm gonna try to just restart it, just start a whole new one, and I'll just what's your email? DM me your email, and then I'll just send it from there, and we'll just start like a new hangout, all right, and see if that'll clear it up. My internet connection is good. I don't know why it keeps acting up.
All right, good.